Hi. As you can see, this is not a gym. This is my living room. It's pretty clear we're not going to work out per se right now. However, I would like to answer a question that was sent to me via email earlier today regarding the rationale behind my recommending lumbar support when doing floor core exercises. Okay, to answer this question, I'm going to have to go back in time a little bit. 20 years ago, or rather for 20 years, I taught group fitness classes. And when I say I taught them, I mean I taught them. Stretch, yoga, step, spin, body sculpting, body pump before it was called body pump, interval, whatever you can think of, I taught it. That means that on any given day, I would do a few hundred crunches and other floor exercises or any type of core exercise. Okay, fast forward 20 years later, and I'm starting to have lower back issues, pain and discomfort, which I largely ignored for another 10 years until one day I woke up, I could move, literally could not move. Like I could not get off my bed. I was in so much pain. Spent a month trying to figure out what my problem was and finally got an MRI only to be told that I had a herniated disc. Not a big hernia, teeny one, but pressing in a very unpleasant part of my spine, directly into the spinal cord. Once I was delivered that piece of news, I started thinking and reflecting and trying to understand how I could have gotten that. I mean, okay, all right, yeah, I've I've been a fitness professional for 30 plus years. I've rock climbed for many, many years. Participated in really long cycling events. So a lot of pressure on my spine. Yeah, but I've also swam most of my life, and I have no issues with stretching and yoga. I do that fairly regularly. So, short of a traumatic event, which I could not recall, I couldn't really quite pinpoint how I did that to myself until I was having a conversation with a neurosurgeon who pointed out that I have no lumbar curvature anymore. And the anymore is important. I started reflecting from that point on, and I can only surmise that all the core work I've done over my life, from regular crunches to planks to later on pointed Pilates practice, has somewhat impacted the structure of my spine and sort of remodeled it to accommodate the demands of my job. Okay, granted, not everybody does several hundred crunches a day. I get that. I'm just here to explain to you how this piece of advice that you've heard 1,000 times, flat back, push your spine into the floor, blah, 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 actually makes no sense. No sense at all. This is an opinion. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to believe me. You can discard what I'm saying. I am not the end all be all. The buck doesn't stop with me when it comes to spine health, okay? I'm just a fitness professional who's experienced spinal change and spinal trauma in her own body. All right, so you've heard that piece of advice. Flat back, push your spine into the floor whenever you would take fitness classes. And I'm sure, you know, in your own practice, even if you're not in a fitness class, I'm willing to bet that you push your spine into the floor. Why, though? The lumbar spine has a curvature, why would you want to erase that curvature in order to work your core, the front core, right? So our abdominal muscles, and I'm going to get out of the frame for a second, but our abdominal muscles start here and finish here at the pelvis, right? So it makes zero sense to get on the floor, tilt the pelvis under, push the spine into the floor, and work with a shortened range of motion. This is not your range of motion. This is your range of motion when you're standing, right? So why would you want to start from a shortened position, which means that when you stand up again and get your back to stack in its normal curvature, the top part of your abs and the bottom part of your abs are going to be weaker because you've never exercised them in the complete range of motion on the floor. So that's why I recommend using lumbar support. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's just enough that you can prevent your lumbar spine to press into the floor, your pelvis to tilt under, your abs to shorten and work in that limited range of motion. Keep your back the way it wants to be naturally, supported, and do your crunches if you must do crunches. Excuse me. And do your crunches in the anatomically correct position, or your leg extensions, whatever, or your holds, whatever. Just do it in the anatomically correct position. Try it. I promise you it's a game changer. But again, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to trust me. You can keep on doing your floor exercises the way you've always done them. This is just my opinion. Let me know if this made sense to you. And if it didn't, I'll try to explain it better. I'll do my best. Maybe I'll use some fancy graphics. I'm not sure. So let me know in the comments if this makes any sense to you. All right? Bye now.